Introducing the latest in DJ technology, a new and improved all-in-one system from Pioneer DJ. The Pioneer DJ OPus Quad boasts a new name, new look, new feel, and new everything. This 4-channel standalone mixer is a huge upgrade featuring built-in Wi-Fi for cloud library sync, a larger touchscreen display, and independent displays above each deck for song information. The updated effects now include an XY pad and the ever-popular smooth echo feature. Plus, the new zone output allows you to play different music to another set of speakers. The decks are customizable with color-coded options, and the system also comes with built-in Bluetooth for quick music requests. With Rekordbox compatibility and a new Smart Cue feature, this system is a game changer in the DJ world. Additionally, it features a 32-bit DA converter from ESS technology and a new fast SSD port on the back, with USB-C for laptops and mobiles. The system will soon have the ability to connect wirelessly to the Rekordbox mobile app to play music, with Serato DJ compatibility coming in summer 2023. As you can see, we've got a lot to get through, so without further ado, remember to hit that subscribe button and then let's get stuck in. First things first, yes, it is a 4-channel standalone unit. You can plug one USB drive in or even use the inbuilt Wi-Fi, which I'm about to show you, and mix up to 4 different songs at the same time. This is what everyone has been waiting for, and it has come to this unit, thankfully. At launch, the unit will plug and play with Rekordbox, and in summer 2023, Serato compatibility will be coming. I have no word on any of the other platforms as yet. Let's talk about the deck and the mixer section before moving on to the display where a lot of the magic's happening. You can see here on the deck, it's very minimalistic now. A lot of the graphics have been taken away. For example, on our tempo adjust, we don't have all the little markers. We don't have this plus or minus 6 wide or any of those labels. It's been stripped back. Again, the jog wheel. This new jog wheel is really nice to play on. The top is like almost rubber coated. So if you are a scratch DJ, it's got a really good tactile feel to it. It's not like a plastic top, which feels slippy. It's really grippy. And then the edging is this new pattern as well, which feels great for nudging your tracks. They've taken the information from the center display, minimalized it there, but put all the relevant information you need on these top displays, which I think is a really good idea because it ends up being very cramped in the center display, and this just works much better. You can see we have our standard cue and play buttons. We have our tempo adjust with the reset and the master tempo and the tempo range. The jog wheels also have the light or heavy feeling adjust. Moving up, we have the beat jump fractions to jump through the track in different intervals. You can hold shift to change the value of the beat jump, which shows up here. 8, 16, 32, you can go right down to a half or right up to 64 beats. You can set loops, change the length of the loop all the way down to 1/128th, or we can go all the way up to almost infinite, 512. Have a listen. We can change the in and the out points, just like on other mixers. We can chop it down, like I said. Then we can click it into exit. We have all of our hot cues here, as you can see. We can set hot cues at any point in the song and recall up to 8. We could also save a loop. If we activated a loop, I can hold shift and delete the hot cues, save a loop, and then it will jump to that point and activate. We can turn quantize on and off. Which will lock it to the grid of the song. We then have our track search buttons or the cue and loop call underneath by holding shift. Plus, we have the deck 1 and deck 3 to switch between the 2 layers. Lastly, there is a vinyl button plus a key sync and beat sync mode as well. Key sync's great for keeping tracks in key when mixing. I'll just quickly show you that you can change the key of a song by tapping here and going up and down, or key resetting that way too. The mixer has everything you would expect from a premium all-in-one DJ unit. We have our 4 channel faders plus a really nice feeling crossfader. It's not a Magvel crossfader or designed for scratch DJs, but it feels great nonetheless. You then have these really nice new sound color effect pots with your 6 sound color effects, headphone cues, headphone options down here, and then all of your EQ and trim controls as standard, plus your mic controls for mic 1, and then you've got mic 2 along the front with all the controls for that mic along the front of the unit too. It's all pretty basic stuff that you find on all DJ equipment. As always, the sound color effects sound great. And you can change the parameter of them to change things like the resonance on the filter. Lastly, we have our master level control and then our beat effects controls down here. Now these are a bit different. You'll notice that this beat effects doesn't have all of them labeled, again taking that information and putting it on the screen. If we scroll, you'll see all the different beat effects that we have available to us here. They're all the standard ones that you find on the now older DJM 900 Nexus 2 or even the XDJ XZs. But because this is a continuous rotary knob, I could imagine that they could add other effects in here, like the new triplet roll, for example, just via a firmware update. Instead of them being set exactly how they are, you know, on the unit at release, there could be more added. So let's see what happens there. Then you see the information of the effects here. You can change the time or the beat fraction, and then you can choose which channel it's assigned to. And again, there isn't a physical switch to choose which channel it's assigned to. It's a touch on the touch screen here. So it's as simple as that. The effects work like the other units, but again, just some of these options have been taken from the actual physical buttons and put onto the touchscreen itself. Another really neat feature and effect that's been brought over from the DJM S11, which I personally love, is the smooth echo feature. Now, when this is on, you can choose how it's activated. So you can turn it up here and leave it on. So for example, if I now bring this fader down, you'll hear it echoes. And it echoes out. So we can then choose to do it with the crossfader. We could also choose to do it with the hot cues. And it adds that echo in. Now you can change all of this. If we hold down on the on button, you'll see the unit shows up, and the bits that are showing up in white are the things that the smooth echo will be applied to. So you can select the trigger here. Maybe when you load a song in, it's going to smooth echo. Or maybe when you pause a song, it applies this smooth echo. Or when you press Q, so if I were to put that on and press Q, so then you could do things like, let's put it on 1/8 of a beat. And you can hear. Now if I turn that off, it doesn't apply even though it's turned on. So this is really powerful, and it's great for just when you're mixing. You could have it on, you know, a 1-beat echo, for example. You could choose the number of beats to trigger by the crossfader. So if you're doing fast cuts, it doesn't trigger, but if you just do a mix out, it does trigger. But let's say it's on the channel fader now. If I'm mixing the next song in, this is on. When I mix it out, I'm going to get a bit of an echo out. And you can change the level of it, as you can hear there. Now moving over to the screen, seeing as we're talking about effects, look at this beat effects button here. It brings up an XY pad, and this is awesome. We can choose an effect. For example, let's scroll through to echo, and we can tap on any of these fractions. You can see we've got a 16th up to 4 beats, and we can turn the level up, sorry, and it turns the effect on, but I can change the frequency of it, and then also the fraction. And it's super tactile and works really well. We can choose to hold as well. So if I put it on, I can take my finger off and it will stay active in that position. And you can do things like this. And then just turn it off or turn hold off there. You can also turn quantize on and off for the effects here. That's the same applies for all the different effects, and you'll see that we have all these different options depending on what effect. Really nice, such a great addition. And then over to the right, you'll see we have this bank here. So we can choose different effects to go into the bank, and we can just quickly access our favorite effects. So instead of scrolling through every time, you could just go in and choose an effect in the bank. and I could go delete. I could delete them out and think, okay, I want something else in there. Oops, sorry, let me delete that again. And let's choose spiral, and I could just, boom, put spiral there. Super, super interactive, and honestly, it just feels great. It sounds great. And I personally would probably set my favorite effects in here, and then I'd just jump onto the screen, think, okay, I want to use some effects, boom, and have a play that way. The effects assigned come at the bottom of the screen, as mentioned before, so you can do all 4 channels, the mic and the master in that way too. It is a slightly different approach to the other units from Pioneer DJ, but I've got very familiar with it very quickly. So yeah, it's just a new way of kind of doing more with the effects because we have a big touchscreen there now. Let's go deep dive. As you can see here in the source, I have this now connected to the Wi-Fi in this building. I've also got my MacBook connected to the Wi-Fi here, plus I've got this USB drive authenticated for Cloud Library Sync, which means I can synchronize songs that I choose on my whole library, if you have the creative or professional plan, to Dropbox, and then I can just plug this in without any music on, and I can just log into my cloud and just stream music directly from the cloud and play it from this unit. Now, it is missing, in my opinion, third-party streaming. I want to see Beatport, BeatSource, Tidal, SoundCloud all integrated into this in the future as well. That would be awesome. But for now, let me just show you. If I went onto my MacBook Pro here, you can see that I have this via Pro DJ link. There's no wires plugged into this laptop. And I've got the Pro DJ link here at the bottom of export mode activated, and I can simply scroll through and load songs directly from here into the player, and you'll see that it plays on the unit itself. You'll also see that in Source, I can click on this cloud and I can go to log in here, and I can now log into my Cloud Library Sync with Rekordbox, and it will access my Dropbox and the music stored within Dropbox there. Once it's connected, I can then tap again, and you'll see we have all our playlists here, and we can access the tracks and load as usual. So we've got many options now for connecting to this unit, and then coming soon, we will have the Rekordbox app update coming to iOS and Android and iPad, where you'll be able to wirelessly connect to their app as well and play music directly from their app. So many, many options. The screen looks and feels great, and it really is the centerpiece. We can use it just like the other units, and we can scroll through playlists. We can go into playlists. If you tap the menu button here, we can make the fonts bigger and smaller so we can see more. You can also search through your library with this search and a really fast keyboard. So if I just start typing, you'll see how quick it starts to find things. We can go back out of that there. Super intuitive. On the left-hand side here, this is the same as the CDJ 3000s. We can search by artist, by album, by track, by key, by playlist, by history, matching, and by date added as well. So lots of options for searching through your music. Then if we were to just get a track and load it in, we can use these buttons here to load left and right. And you'll see it loads the track in there. We can go back to browse, load one in the opposite side. And then if you want to load one into deck 3 and 4, we could choose deck 3, deck 4. You could go browse. We can use this scroll pot as well. This is now a joystick, so you can scroll up and down, as you can see. This is for fast searching through your songs. If I go onto track, you'll see now if I click, it jumps many songs at a time. And I can go back and forth through different layers as well. It's just really quick for searching through. Or we can use it just like our normal rotary encoder as well. We could load into decks 4 and deck 3 as well. Now, if you want to change the source of any of those decks, we can just tap on any of the decks here, and you can see all the options. For deck 3, I could now choose to have a line input, a phono input, or even Bluetooth. If I choose Bluetooth, I can then play directly from my phone through channel 3. We could put that back to deck 3. You can also see the crossfader assigned. The switches are taken off the unit. Speaking about making it minimalist on top as well, we can now change the crossfader assign here on the touchscreen. It's really nice that we've got this on-air display. So if I bring all these down, you'll see on-air disappears. Bring them up. It's just really nice little touch added there. When in playlist view, we can also use these handy banks now for quick access to our favorite playlists. Let's say I want this house playlist, easy access. I can just tap the bank here and it will add it quickly. Maybe I want this EDM and dance, I can tap it here. Now you can see I can quickly just navigate between those two playlists when in the browse playlist feature. So if I'm playing, I can press waveform. I'm playing with my music, I could go into playlist and just quickly access those to choose the next track. If you want to delete any, just press this delete and you can delete them from there. As you can see, the screen is a big center point of how you're going to interact with your library management, how you're going to interact with the unit itself, and it does feel and respond very, very well. When inside a playlist, you have a few extra options too. We've got this to track filter down, and we can change the parameters of this by holding it, and you can choose tracks that may be mixing key that are a similar BPM, and you can tick different options and say I want it to mix in key and I want it to be, within a 1% BPM range. And then when I press edit, it would find other tracks in that playlist that would mix with the master song, if there are ones. We also have this menu button again, and you can mark tracks as played or unplayed. You can change the font as before, and you can also change the order of tracks from default to track name to artist. And then you can tap on the top of any of these and you can add different column headers in there as well. So very intuitive and very interactive. Let's say you're in a playlist and you want to play one of these songs but not next. You can use this tag track to tag these tracks and then quickly access them via the tag list. This is a great feature as well, found on most CDJs and XDJs, and this is where it's located here. Another thing to be aware of on the screen itself is the shortcut menu. If we tap this, you'll see lots more information about the performance of the unit and how it reacts. We've got things like time elapsed or remaining, which shows up here, auto cue on or off, the quantized beat value, which again will show up on the independent displays, hot cue auto load, whether the hot cues here will automatically load when you load a song in. Then we have the deck color, which is awesome. So I can choose here deck 3, I could change this to red or yellow, purple, and there's loads of different colors. I'll just flick through and they look awesome. So you can then choose that your decks 3 and 4 are blue, for example, and your decks 1 and 2 are orange, just so you know which deck you're playing on. And again, it changes on this button here. So just really neat touch. You can see that deck 1 has changed to purple or amber. If I go to deck 3, aqua. So it's really intuitive and it works really well the way it maps out across the unit. Then you'll see we've got the brightness of the display right down from 1 to 5, or the deck displays from 1 to 5. We can have 4 deck or 2 deck view on the waveform. So that's whether it stacks here 1, 2, 3, 4 between the 4, or whether we have 2 deck, 1, 2. We then have the settings for the waveform. So you can see it changes from blue to RGB to 3-band, and you can load your settings from your USB drive or from your laptop. Then there's another tab. If we go to mixer and recording, you'll see all the mixer options. We've got EQ and isolator, whereas before that would be a physical switch on most of the mixers or all-in-one units. We've got the channel fader curves, the crossfader curve here, and then we've got the mic output, whether it's going to the master, the zone, or the master and the zone, plus the mic 2, again, master zone or master and zone. Then the zone setting assign, we can choose that we want channel 3, for example, to go out of the zone output, or channel 4, or the master. And then we can choose whether to have zone on or off at all. And then we can preview it as well to see what it sounds like by holding this down, just to check that that speaker's playing what we want it to play. Lastly, here, recording device. You can choose any of your USB 1, 2, or 3s. Just hit record, and then you can even track mark as you're going along too. By holding down the shortcut button, you can enter the utility settings. In here, we have lots of the stuff going on under the hood of the unit. So in the deck option, I'll just run through them quickly. We've got the load lock feature, quantized beat value. We've also got the hot cue auto load and hot cue color. This means you can change the color of the hot cues there. Overwrite current cue with hot cue. This means if this is turned on, if you were to jump to a hot cue, your cue button would then react and go back to that hot cue if you were to cue the song back up. With it off, it will go back to whatever the cue point was set, not the hot cue. Auto cue level, vinyl speed adjust. This is the vinyl break, whether it slows down when you pause it or it just stops immediately. You've got your play mode as single or continuous, jog ring brightness, and jog ring indicator. Then in the mixer settings, we've got lots more here. Channel input select memory. This means that when we're in this mode, if we go on here and change this to Bluetooth, for example, it will remember that channel 3 is Bluetooth mode. Going back in to mixer, we've got the EQ and isolator for the EQs, channel fader curve, crossfader curve options. Again, the physical buttons have gone into the settings and the screen rather than on the unit itself. We've got headphones, mono split and stereo there. The USB output level, mic output to booth, mic output to master record, and mic output to USB. So you can really take control of the microphone, whether it goes through any of those outputs. The talk over mode and also the talk over level. Then in audio output, we have a master attenuator, master peak limiter, booth monitor attenuator, and zone attenuator. So lots of control over the audio in there too. For display, we have the on-air display, whether we have it on or off, which is when you put the fader up, it comes up with the little red on-air icon. We've got the waveform current position as left or center, so you can see more of the waveform if it's on left. Waveform divisions as phrase or time scale. The overall waveform display as 4-deck or 2-deck. Now, just bear in mind, if it's on 4-deck, it simply means that you get the 1, 2, 3, 4 player sections here. You don't have 4 scrolling waveforms on top of each other. We also have the LCD brightness of the main display. I've got this on 2 at the moment, but it goes right up to 5. And also of the smaller displays, which again go up to 5. The network settings, where you will access how to connect to the Wi-Fi, which you literally click here. It's all very intuitive. You select your Wi-Fi and just put the password in, and then you can connect to the Wi-Fi that way. You've got your Wi-Fi address, and you can manually put in the MAC address or Ethernet info there. Bluetooth, again the same. You just go on and click pairing. You can see I've already paired to my phone here, but you just pair, and it's just as simple as pairing any other Bluetooth device to this unit. Then in general, we've got language, screensaver, auto standby, default factory settings, and then serial numbers and version numbers for firmware. So that's all of the stuff going on under the hood. Again, more things could be added in the future, but for now we've got plenty of options. The unit features an 1/8 and 1/4 inch headphone output, as well as 2 mic inputs, one on the front with your EQ controls and level, plus talk over switches, and then one on the back as well with your controls on the face of the unit. You'll notice we have a USB 3 port for high-speed connection to SSD drives, a USB-C port for connection to laptops, and a LAN port for Pro DJ Link. There's an XLR and RCA master out, as well as the new zone output, which is XLR. As you can see, there's a balanced booth output, as well as 2 phono or line inputs. This is so you can plug in external CDJs or turntables for the extra channels on the mixer. All in all, this is a powerful unit with a huge price tag as expected. For its design, its look, its feel, it's going to be a premium product, and it comes in at a whopping price tag, as you can see. But saying that, I can vouch for saying that this feels amazing to play on. Down to the little things of just resting your hands on it. It just feels nice with these smooth edges. Also, all the information you need is there and it's not cluttered. I really find myself enjoying mixing on this unit and really just wanting to enjoy the art of just mixing music. This unit is not for those DJs who want to get super creative on a performance perspective, because a lot of those tactile features have almost been taken away and put in the screen. You know, even just quickly switching to an effect and changing the channel, you might prefer actual physical knobs or buttons for that if you're doing lots of things quickly. But if you are just a DJ that, you know, you're playing the right music to a crowd and you're doing it on a regular basis and you want to look good doing it, then this really is who this is designed for. And props to Pioneer for almost thinking, well, why don't we, instead of making limited edition controllers or units of a different color, why don't we just make a main product look like one of those as well? And I can imagine a lot of people going out and buying this just because it looks awesome, and it's going to look great in a nice apartment, in your home. It's also going to look great if you're DJing lots of weddings or private events. You're going to look very professional rocking up with something like this. It looks the part. I love this unit. We'll definitely be doing some more on it and testing it out a bit further, but for now, this definitely is up there as one of the top Pioneer products that you could have in your bedroom or rock out with, you know, at your events, that's currently out on the market. We'd love to know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and make sure to go check out our DJ courses online for more information on learning how to DJ with this and other units.